Dear learners, in this module, we'll have a discussion about job analysis. So, job analysis is the first step which is done by the human resource manager whenever they are going to start the organization human resource planning process. So, before we get into the job analysis, try to understand what is job. So, in general, job is defined as a set of closely related activities carried out for pay. Now try to understand the dictionary definition for understanding what is analysis. So analysis is nothing but detailed examination of the elements or structure of something. So that is nothing but analysis. Now before we look at the core definition on job analysis, try to understand why we are trying to do job analysis. So the job analysis is a crucial first step. It's the foundation of the recruitment and selection process. Job analysis is the process of collecting information about the specifics of each job in the organization. A job analysis answers the question, what does the job involve? It is a list of behaviors and skills required to do the job. Purpose of job analysis. So the purpose of job analysis is to establish what a job entails, including the required knowledge, skills and abilities or KSA. KSA is nothing but knowledge, skills, abilities, as well as job duties and responsibilities and the conditions of the job. Job analysis is essential documentation and a fundamental resource for human resources management actions including recruiting, compensation, training, assessment and performance evaluation. So whatever may be the job done through by the human resource manager or HR manager, in terms of performing recruitment activity or selection activity, even performing performance assessment, and then finally determining the compensation package to the fresh candidates, for everything the key input will be based on job analysis. So one of the key input is nothing but job description. This job description statement is created with the help of job analysis. So one of the primary outcome of job analysis is getting the job description as well as job specification statement. According to Organization for Personnel Management USA notes that a job analysis is the foundation of human resources management. A valid job analysis provides data that should be used to develop effective recruitment, qualification and assessment, selection, performance management and career development methodologies. It is important that all key stakeholders participate in the job analysis process to ensure the information is accurate and for employee buy-in. No one knows the job better than the person who does it. And both manager and employee perspectives are important so that the analysis captures all relevant duties and responsibilities in a non-biased way. Once the job analysis is complete, you will have a sound base of information to move on to the next step of developing a meaningful job description that will be consistent with everyone's understanding of the position. When you are going to advertise the job post through print medium or electronic medium or any form of internet medium, definitely you need to have the job description statement to project something about the job profile. So as a candidate, unless I know the job expectations or job description, I may not be able to understand what exactly my organization is expecting from the candidate. So that's the reason why we need to do this job analysis in terms of creating the job description statement. Job analysis serves four primary purposes. The first primary purpose is establish and document job related competencies. Even to determine the job related competencies of the employees or individuals working in the organization, you need to perform job analysis. Identify the job relatedness of essential tasks and competencies. Even further, one should perform the job analysis. And establish the legal basis for assessment and selection procedures decisions. To create any legal documents in your organization with respect to employment, definitely one should perform or one should have job description statement in their hand. To arrive this job description statement, you are supposed to do job analysis. Establish the basis for determining relative work. So suppose if the job is completely new sort of job, for example, in the recent past, in most of the organizations, lot of jobs were created. Some of the job natures are HR analytics post, and then human resource analyst, data analyst, data scientist, and then business analyst, business analytics person, and so on. So if you see the traditional job structure of any of the organization, we didn't have this kind of job post or maybe job nature. So where you will find the job description? If you don't have any comparable jobs in the industry or maybe in the market, definitely you need to perform job analysis to determine the relative worth of the job. Based on that, you can determine the salary package. Even to determine the competency levels as well as to determine the salary package of the employees, you need to perform job analysis. Nature of job analysis. So in simple sense, job analysis is nothing but the procedure for determining the duties and skills, requirements of a job and the kind of person who should be hired for it. And then the next concept is job description. Job description is nothing but a list of your jobs, duties, responsibilities, reporting relationships, working conditions and supervisory responsibilities, one product of a job analysis. So when you are going to determine the job duties of the employees, individuals, and then their core job responsibilities or work responsibilities, and then reporting relationships. So who is going to report to whom? So basically determining the hierarchy, and then determining the working conditions or maybe understanding the working conditions and supervisory responsibilities for everything you are supposed to do job analysis. Now the next concept is job specifications. So job specifications are nothing but a list of jobs, human requirements, that is the requisite educational qualification, skills, personality and so on. It is also another product of job analysis. Now try to understand what kind of information is collected part of this job analysis process. Work activities. So you need to thoroughly understand the each and every work activities of the individuals so that you may get a better clarity about the kind of jobs performed by the individuals in the organization. For example, in a restaurant context, suppose if one of the employees working as a receptionist or maybe billing section executive, means what sort of jobs he or she should perform. So you observe their day-to-day activities. Based on that, you try to determine the job description. And then human behaviors. Understanding human behaviors of the individual, part of the job analysis is really important, and this is also another kind of information collected, part of this job analysis process. And then understanding something more about the machines, tools, equipments and the other work aids used in the organization. Because for example, if anyone is going to work as a managerial level position or maybe work as a human resource manager, definitely they should have some sort of computer skills. If they don't know anything about the computer, at least MS Office, then how they'll be able to do everything. For example, sending emails and then preparing the documents, making some sort of basic calculations using Excel file and so on. So for everything, you need to understand the kind of machines, tools, equipment and the other work aids used in the organization. Through this way, you can also perform the job analysis. So these are all the different types of informations collected, part of the job analysis. And then the next information is performance standards. Why do you want to collect performance standards? When you want to determine the salary package, when you want to conduct the training program, definitely you need to have the performance standards. So you need to understand which is the best performance, which is the worst level of performance. Based on that, you can determine the traits required by the individuals in terms of fulfilling the job requirement or in terms of fulfilling the obligations created by the organization. And then the next one is job context. Under which context this particular job is being performed by the individuals. Even you need to understand something about the job context. And then human requirements. So that is also another kind of information that is collected, part of the job analysis process. Uses of job analysis information. So why basically we are trying to use job analysis information? So for recruitment and selection process, yes, one should have the job analysis information. For example, if you are going to give advertisement through printed medium, definitely in the newspaper, you need to mention something about the job description. So what is the kind of job they are going to perform in your organization, and then what kind of qualification, the essential qualifications required from the candidates, and then the key skill set required from the candidates or expected from the candidates. For example, to do the accounting job, one must know Tally or any of the SAP or any kind of ERP package. For example, in Microsoft, there is a ERP package available called Microsoft Dynamics. So suppose if they have this kind of additional qualification, they'll be able to perform their job in a better way. Even for selection process, for example, the kind of recruitments or interview process or selection process conducted by your organization, to fix the criteria for selecting the right candidates, you need to have some job description statement. Next use is compensation. Even to determine the total salary package, one should perform job analysis and then they need to assess the relative worth of the job. For example, in data analyst post, so what exactly he or she is going to do for the whole day? Out of 8 hours shift, maybe 6.5 hours he or she may be working in the organization. So out of the 6.5 hours, what kind of job or roles will be performed by the candidates? So you need to understand the relative worth of the job. And then the total compensation, the maximum or maybe minimum compensation which can be afforded to the candidates. If you have similar kind of job profile in other organization, probably you can also benchmark that particular job profile so that easily you will be able to design your salary package. For example, you can also visit O-Star.net to get different kinds of job descriptions. That is also another source where you get a lot of information about different job profiles or job categories. Next one is performance appraisal. This is also another use why we are trying to do the job analysis. So for example, in performance appraisal, either using any of the traditional or maybe modern techniques of performance appraisal approaches, you may be interested to assess the employee performance. So to assess the performance, basically you need to have the performance standard. So as a HR manager, you should be in the position to say which is the best performance and then which is the worst performance category. Even to do this, you have to obtain job description statement from your higher level authorities. And then training. So to understand the training needs of the employees, you need to have some fair idea about what kind of jobs performed by the organizational members. So depending upon this, probably you can conduct the training or you can draft the training syllabus. So even to conduct the training program, one should perform job analysis and then based on that, they should create the job description statement. And then discovering unassigned duties. If there are any unassigned duties in the organization means, again that can be identified with the help of the job analysis process. So these are the different uses of job analysis information. Now, majorly this job analysis informations are used by recruiting person or mainly the HR person, one who is going to perform the following activities. That is recruiting and selection decisions, and then performance appraisal, job evaluation to determine the wage or salary package, and then training requirements. To perform these 4 activities, as a HR manager, I should perform job analysis to create job description as well as job specification statement. So these are the 2 major outcomes of job analysis, that is job description and job specification. So steps involved in job analysis. The first primary step involved in job analysis, collecting data. So gathering information from published sources, observation, interviews, online databases such as O-Star.net or other career sites. So basically if you visit O-Star.net or other career sites, if you type the job keyword, for example if I want to get some details about the accountant job, simply I can type accountant as a job category. I'll be able to get some job statements or maybe job description statements, and then the essential qualification record from the candidates and so on. So this kind of information I would be able to obtain it from post.net site. This is the first process. So depending upon your job nature, depending upon the time available, and then depending upon the cost component, you take a call which is the best appropriate method or approach to collect the information, part of the job analysis process. Whether observation technique or observation method is most appropriate for your kind of job, or interview, for example focus group interview also can be done in terms of collecting the job information. Similarly, using online databases, so what kind of information you are going to collect, so that is a call need to be taken by the HR manager. So that's the first task. Second step is developing the task. Developing a description of the activities an employee performs on a regular basis in order to carry out the functions of the job. So basically you have to develop each and every task that is done through by the employees. So based on that only you will be able to make any sort of observation, or you can set the performance standards. And then the third step is developing competencies. In this process, you need to describe the knowledge, skills, abilities, behaviors and other characteristics required for successful performance of the role or occupational function, that is function performed by the individual. For information on how to write competencies, refer Organization for Personnel Management, that is from USA. You can also check their checklist, or even you can also go through post.net and so on. In post.net site also they have given the KSEs, that is knowledge, skills and abilities required from the candidate in terms of fulfilling the job requirements. And then the fourth step is validating and rating tasks and competencies. So basically in this process you should appoint or you should involve a subject matter expert. He or she should review and rate the task or competencies that is functioned in the organization or performed by the organizational members. A director, supervisor or highly accomplished incumbent would be considered as a subject matter expert. Usually those are sitting in the really top position in your organization, they used to come and do this rating. This is also another process which has to be done before you create your job description statement. And then finally, finalizing the task and competencies. So finally, you can finalize the task and competencies required by the individuals in terms of performing the job. Those that are not rated by subject matter experts are required to successfully perform the job are dropped and so on. The job analysis should be documented for validity and dated to provide a reference for updates. So it has to be properly documented and along with the date. At the same time, you should provide some validity evidence for the kind of analysis which you have done in terms of this job analysis process. Obtaining good reliability for the kind of information which you have collected from your organization member is a major challenging task in terms of performing job analysis. Now the next concept is charting the organization. So charting the organization is nothing but preparing the organizational chart. So a chart that shows the organization-wide distribution of work with the titles of each position and interconnecting lines that show who reports to and communicates to whom and so on. That is nothing but organizational chart. If you see the literature, there are different types of organizational charts are available. One is vertical chart and then horizontal chart, or tall organization structure and then flat organization structure. In the recent past, even companies also using some of the structures like matrix structure and then modular structure and then virtual structure and so on. In matrix structure, I can give you an easy example. So the kind of projects done in any of the software companies. So software companies are functioning based on the projects, number of projects. So to complete each and every project, there are some 18 to 20 members may be working together in a team. So everything is depending upon the number of projects done through by the members. So this is one of the example to understand matrix structure. So in matrix structure, vertically as well as horizontally, an individual is connected with their superiors. So usually the vertical level positions are occupied by the project managers, and then the vertical level positions are occupied by the functional department heads. And then the next one is process chart. A workflow chart that shows the flow of inputs to and outputs from a particular job. So that is nothing but process chart. So in simple sense, input to output, in between what are the processes are happening, so that can be neatly described in a process flow diagram or process chart. So that particular chart is referred as a workflow chart or process flow chart or process chart. Here is an example, process chart for analyzing a job's workflow. So here the information is coming from the input plant manager, and then there are certain components also given by the suppliers. So basically a kind of information is coming from the external source, and then another type of information is coming from the internal source. And then you are trying to make some job study or job under study, that is quality control clerk. Then after that the outputs are information output to plant manager regarding component quality, and then product quality output to plant manager. So this is nothing but a simple process chart which is describing the job flow or workflow to do this quality control check. There are different methods are available in terms of performing the job analysis. One is interviews, observations, desk audit, individual or group interviews, questionnaire, diary method, and then critical incidents, recoding the video of job performance, and then review of records, and so on. Thank you.